I'm going to pull it up. We're going to put this main graphic on the screen, and let's do it the exact same way. What are your original thoughts just looking at these stats? Obviously, we know Chiefs, gone to the Super Bowl the past 2 years. I don't think we have to spend a whole lot of time on that. But just looking at the stats, looking at what this team was last year, anything to add here?
I mean, Mahomes, anyone who has to play him, you got to bring your lunch. I think they have a bend but don't break defense with a lot of big names that are the thing that I like about their defense is, yes, statistically, they'll get ran on sometimes. But they have the star players who show up when the lights are brightest.
Yeah.
All of them do. Frank Clark will always have that game. Honey Badger, honestly, solidified himself as a top 5 safety again, because in a lot of people's eyes, he kind of dropped out of that, I think. He's there. He's there to stay. I really like, I can't think of the name off the top of my head, man. You're going to have to help me out. That cornerback, he was a rookie who stepped up tremendously.
Yeah, late round rookie.
Tremendously stepped up, and he helped out the Chiefs in so many different ways. So the Chiefs are hitting on their late picks. They have the locker room intact. Andy Reid is doing just a phenomenal job balancing this team as a whole. And then when you have those late round guys who are able to step up like that.
And I believe you were talking about L'Jarius Sneed, right?
Yeah, that was him, yeah.
Perfect. So we got that in. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And what else is there to say? So let's move on to some of their offseason moves. And I think the biggest move before we really even get into anything else is that trade for Orlando Brown. I'm gonna put up that the trade breakdown here. What a deal is right. What a deal is right, because you get a second round pick, you get a 2022 sixth, and you get Orlando Brown. All you have to do is give up the 31st pick and the 94th pick and a fourth rounder as well. But I mean, not a whole lot of give, and I really do believe this is a win-win. You look at what the Ravens got; they got a Ben Cleveland, which will help them out, and they got a Jason Owe, which will help them out. And I think at the end of the day, the Chiefs would make that trade to ensure themselves an Orlando Brown.
Yeah, exactly.
And on top of that, get a linebacker? I mean, come on.
The Chiefs didn't have to filter through all the, will this lineman adjust to it? They got a guy who they know what he is, and he is a true stud of a left tackle, too, who had some distance with the Ravens organization and won it out regardless. Both teams can win.
Yeah, no, it was a huge win, and when you just look at what they wanted to do, it was all about overhauling the offensive line. They released they released an Eric Fisher, and I respect it, by the way. I love the fact that they lost the Super Bowl because their awesome offensive line wasn't able to step up in the biggest moments, and granted, there were some injuries there, and there's a lot of other things that go into it, but at the end of the day, y'all don't lose that game. I don't believe the Chiefs lose that game if the pressure was not as consistent and as tormenting as it was.
I think I'm going to sound like a hater, though. I don't agree. I agree that they needed to revamp the O-line. I do not like how they revamped the offensive line.
That's okay,
first.
yeah.
Because Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz were out for the Super Bowl. They had two brand new tackles who had to step in. I'm pretty sure one of them was like... I don't think that's fair. That wasn't the way to do it, but they ended up getting it done. Don't get me wrong. I remember when this happened, though, I was like, God, what puzzle are y'all fitting together? Now it looks great.
Yeah, puzzle looks good, right? So they let go of Eric Fisher and Schwartz, as you said, trade for an Orlando Brown, sign a Joe Thuney to a huge deal, talked Kyle Long out of retirement, which he's having some injuries issues again. So, and I get what you're saying. The problem is they wouldn't have been able to afford everybody, and I do think they had an upgrade. I do get it from like a personal standpoint that Eric Fisher really didn't do anything wrong. He got hurt. He had a serious injury, and he gets signed by the Colts and is making probably less money than he probably would have if he stayed with the Chiefs. But to be honest, I don't know his exact contract issue, so I don't know if that's 1,000% true, but I'm pretty sure it is. But overall, I think at the end of the day, regardless of what Fisher was or how unfair it might have been for him, Orlando Brown is an upgrade. Joe Thuney is an upgrade.
That's what
you
I'm
know
saying.
What I mean?
I didn't know, but it was just weird to think, okay, well, the Chiefs didn't have their tackles in the Super Bowl. They're clearly going to want their tackles to come back, right? Yeah. Wrong. Yeah. I guess something about that made them realize, we can just go another direction now.
Yeah, absolutely, and they did. And not only did they do that, they draft a Creed Humphrey with their pick in the second round, as center out of Oklahoma, who is a stud. So yeah, they really attacked that offensive line. That was the thing, and I think the biggest question now is, will those changes actually make a difference? And honestly, just overall, can that powerhouse offense continue another year? And at this point, I'm not ready to say it's going to stop until we see it stop. But, I mean, we have been...
I don't think it's going to stop until 2030-something.
Yeah, I do absolutely agree with you. But there is also that thing that's like, other than the Patriots, no team has really kept a consistent legacy of winning 12, 13 games every year and being a consistent Super Bowl contender every, like for a extended period of time. Usually in the NFL, windows close even when you have a great quarterback. I look at the Saints as a team, like, yeah, they had some open windows, but there were also some years where they went 7-9 with Drew Brees. You know what I mean?
Of all times, who sometimes it's just like, okay, well, this ain't the year.
This ain't the year yet.
But I feel like the Avengers are saying we have a Hulk. Yeah, they have a Pat Mahomes. And
I love it.
They're going to be competitive as long as he is there. I believe so.
I agree too. I just wanted to play devil's advocate. I really do agree with you.
There is a way, because it is weird when you think about that. Like Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I mean, Peyton Manning only had 2 Super Bowls, one with Indianapolis for the entirety of his career.
Yeah.
All of those guys, Tom Brady took food out of their mouth, of course, but I think that's what Mahomes is going to be for all the other guys.
I mentioned a while ago.
Mahomes is going to be the Brady that takes the rings away.
I mentioned a while ago. I really believe Mahomes is going to be like one of the reasons. Like if Josh Allen never gets a ring, we're going to point to Mahomes, and then it's going to be that's why.
You can take what I mean? Let's just say Trevor Lawrence does what he's supposed to do. Burrow does all of these young guys. Become what they're supposed to become. But you still got to go through that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many guys who weren't able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so interesting. It's so much. I mean, I think that's why I love the sport so much. But you're absolutely right. It's a lot of fun, and it's going to be fun to see. Looking at their grade as a whole, their draft grade, just because they didn't have a lot of draft picks, I did think it was such a good move for them to go Creed Humphrey there in the second round, and especially just the way they waited and they really played that very, very well and were able to get a top center. I was surprised they didn't go wide receiver. I was surprised. I mean, obviously they got one in the 5th round out of Clemson. I was surprised they didn't get a marquee wide receiver a little bit earlier than that. And I get it, you can't draft every position, but I look at that wide receiver core. Why do you think they need
one so bad?
I mean, I think it's quietly not a great core when you look at it beyond, like if you look at it beyond just a Tyreek Hill. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is awesome. McCall Hardman has not developed.
He hasn't.
And I
think player at best.
This time last year, I think we were looking at it and we were like, man, McCall Hardman's going to take that next step. Well, he didn't. He just didn't. And then it's like, okay, Demarcus Robinson, meh. I mean, we're not impressed by that.
So I get,
Byron Pringle, like just going down the list, you had Tyreek Hill and you have obviously Travis Kelce, and that's enough. I'm not trying to take anything away from those guys, but like it's not just this like powerhouse
it's okay to say that the system might be
receiver.
Making some of these wide receivers. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Look at a Byron Pringle. I don't know if I'll ever talk to you, meet you, or whatever, but I really don't think you would be much outside of this Kansas City Chiefs offense. I don't want to sound bad for saying that, but the same thing can go for almost the rest of these names other than
and honestly,
it's okay to say that they're still great, but
absolutely, and I feel okay. Like, listen, we have our lads up right now, and that I love that site for looking at rosters and things like that. I'm looking at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 wide receivers on the roster right now. The teams that have that many rosters going into, or have that many players at one position going into free agency, going into minicamp and all that stuff, means they're looking they're looking for somebody to really separate themselves.
I like Antonio Callaway.
I do too, but I mean, this is his 3rd and 4th chance. I mean, because he went to the Dolphins after, he's gone to a lot of different places. Yeah. And he physically awesome, but it might not just be there,
It's between the shoulders kind of thing.
Exactly.
I've heard a rumor about N'Keal Harry and the Chiefs.
Yeah, N'Keal Harry wanting to trade. Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Be awesome there, but he couldn't separate in New England. Is that going to change in Kansas City? I don't know.
It's easier to be the 3 option than the 1, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he could be the 3 here if you put him in.
That's totally fair. All right, hey, that was good. I will circle back just real quick to our records. We both have them going over. Obviously,
I had 13 and 4.
You gave them 13 and 3. Exactly. So we both have them going over. I'm not betting to go over 12.5. I just can't. That's too many wins.
I just think it's a bad bet.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet on that. But if you maybe put a gun to my head, I'm going to say over.